Hey guys, welcome to this week's Webisode. You got your boys here, Michael and Ian. Your boys, what does that even mean? We're the only both
the boys.
No, we're
I'd
the
say
boys.
the Webisode boys, yeah.
I like that. That's great.
I'm claiming it, yeah.
And I'm excited to talk to you with the birthday boy. It's his birthday. You thought I forgot about your birthday, didn't I?
Man.
Yeah, it was just his birthday the other day. So, bro, how old are you now?
23.
20?
Which is not old. It's not old.
Can you believe this guy's 23?
It's 23. It's nothing major. It's fine.
Can you believe it?
I'm not growing gray hairs or anything.
Bro, I can't even grow that full face of a beard. I'm 33. So
33, holy heck.
33.
Interesting.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so anyways, Michael aside, we just had an amazing Sunday celebrating mothers. So we had Mama's Day last Sunday, and it was a great Sunday. We had balloons everywhere, and they were popping a little bit, but it was, I think it added to the environment.
Yeah, a bit of character for Mother's Day, popping balloons. But shout out to all the mothers everywhere in our church, and shout out to my mother especially. Mom, if you're watching.
Oh man,
you're the best. You're amazing.
It's so good to see you, Mom. Yeah.
And the mother of the house actually, Mama Fiddy, she brought the word on Sunday.
Yes.
And
who better?
Love it. Yeah.
To bring the word.
Brings the word. Yeah. Just
on
a
Mother's
powerful woman of God.
Yeah.
Doing powerful things.
It's amazing.
Yeah. Love you too, boss lady. Hey,
boss lady.
Boss lady, love you too.
Everyone's gonna start calling her that now.
Boss
I don't
lady.
know if she hates it. Boss lady.
She suits it, eh? She boss lady. Yeah. Love you, boss lady.
Oh, and shout out to my mom too. Happy Mother's Day. Love you. Love you, Mom. You're probably not gonna watch this, but love you. Anyway, so Pastor Fiddy brought the sermon, and it's called "Mamas in the Midst." Mamas in the Midst. And our main scripture is in Psalms 128, verse 3. Probably already heard of it. Your wife shall be like a fruitful vine in the very heart of your house. Your children like olive plants all around your table.
Beautiful.
So,
that's nice.
Your wife shall be like a fruitful vine in the very heart. And the first point is your fruit is your seed, and your seed is your fruit. So being fruitful, planting seeds, it's all pretty interesting key words there. How do you know, so this is the question, how do you know you're being fruitful?
Good question.
I'll just go cut deep with these questions.
Well, for me, on like physically speaking, like more practically speaking actually, is there are examples, when we think of like planting fruit or like bearing fruit and all that kind of stuff, we think of like all the good stuff, like all the good fruit and like, the sweet apples, the sweet watermelons and all that kind of stuff, sweet mangoes. We think of all the good fruit, but we never think about like the fruit that goes rotten or the ones that haven't grown properly or the ones that aren't ready yet or ripe enough to pick off the tree. So we kind of just forget that there are fruits that aren't good in a sense. There are bad fruits that, we can be planting without knowing it sometimes. But there's definitely fruit that isn't, ripe to pick. It isn't good for, family. It isn't good for your friendships, your relationships. It isn't good for your ministry sometimes. And man, we just got real deep with that. But there are examples of that, and there's evidence of both good and bad fruit. Like in everything you do, really, because like what you reap is what you sow.
Totally.
And sometimes we forget that we can be, not can be, more that we can unintentionally sow that bad kind of fruit. And like I'm sure there's never intention of that. Yeah. Like especially in what we do in church or at home and in our friendships and all that kind of stuff. But that's just speaking on a practical sense anyway,
no. Just a disclaimer, we're obviously not mums. So we can't really
wouldn't be able to.
But in a general sense, when we're answering these questions about being fruitful, it's sort of, it hits all fields of life, I suppose.
Yeah.
Producing. So this is what Pastor Fitchett said. Your fruit is your seed, and your seed is your fruit. As a mother, she's a fruitful vine, and so like basically being like a godly mother, a godly wife in the main scripture sense.
Yeah.
Like she's obviously producing good results, like a good fruitful tree, and it's beneficial, instrumental, favorable, and profitable.
Yeah.
So a lot of these can be taken into account in regards to like every area. Like what are the fruits that you look at in like the household and what you do in work or what they do outward,
because you could see the evidence not just in like who you're around, but in yourself as well. Like what you're producing, and like what your produce starts producing. If that makes sense. Yeah. So like, in a sense of like mothers, like what their kids could be saying in terms of like how they speak to people or how they interact with people. Yeah. Whether that's at their schools or out in public, like they definitely take after, like not just moms, but like family, like what they're around, like what they're saying to each other. Totally. And all that kind of stuff. And that's like, well, for me personally, like we grew up with just mom. So like everything she did, like because we were around her all the time, like as us, me and my brothers. So like we'd pick up what she would say, what she would do and all that kind of stuff, because that suggests the production of being around her. Yeah. And like seeing what she does, seeing how she goes to the shops and all that kind of stuff, how she speaks with people, family, strangers. Yeah, totally. And just watching that, observing that, and that becoming like, I guess the fruit, like in our lives, like even now, like even for my brothers, I'm pretty sure that would be the same, like for them, if that kind of makes sense. Yeah, 100%. And adding to that, there's a lot of things that the scripture speaks about, different scriptures that talk about a woman who is profitable in investing and the things that she touches. She there's like growth happening in that, like there's everything she does outside of the house and inside the house. Yeah. There are like, things are just growing and being blessed by her hands and all that sort of stuff. And it's just interesting how hands-on the mom is in the household, and how important they are, and how gifted they are to be a mom. Oh yeah. 100%. like the ability to do such things. Like God has equipped our mothers to be able to do all of these multi things that are just so important. So it's I don't know, I just find it fascinating how a mom, the mom and the nurturing and all that sort of stuff comes into play with what definitely. They do. And like, we give them all the love for it. Yeah, like my mom, for example, like she is one of the nicest women like you'll ever meet. Yeah, oh man, I love you, Mom. If there's ever a time like I'm in trouble. Love you, Brady. But if there ever was a time that I was in serious trouble, like say, this is probably far out there, but like say I'm about to get into a fight. Like let's just say that happens. If I can count on one person being there to like calm me down, get me away from that, or like get me a drink and get me calmed down, all that kind of stuff, that would be Mom. Yeah, yeah. It's like she has that soft side, but like if she had to jump in there, she would. But like that's like they're so dynamic in a way. Totally. Like there's always a side of like softness, but there's that, strong like I love my boy kind of stuff. Like, how do I explain it? Like there's a strong and sweet. Yeah. In a way, strong and sweet. Like when I think about Mom. And like, it's fascinating how moms are like built like that. Like there's such a nurturing nature, and like in the opposite spectrum, there's like that protection sort of instinct for their kids. And it's just so true. They're so diverse. Bringing it back, that's so good, man. Bringing it back to fruitful, and this is just to add to that original question, so that we can look in ourselves and all of that. Like, how do we know? What are some red flags
that we can look for if we're not being fruitful in certain areas? Because obviously, I mean, we're not going to be perfect in every area. There's always room to improve. Just seeing the red flags in a certain area, how would you be able to sort of see those red flags?
Right. Let's
deep. Let's go deeper.
I think with that, communication would be a good thing. Again, I'm talking like practically. Like, communication has become a big thing, because like in a lot of Pacific like communities, families, and that kind of stuff, it's more a case of like, because you're young or because you haven't really lived like this amount of time, you haven't done this, so I know what's best kind of thing when it comes to family. And like, to me, there is some truth in that. But I think like, especially lately, there's been a lot of communication like with me and mum, and like talking about things that we wouldn't really talk about. Yeah. And that kind of gets rid of those flags, because I reckon those red flags are just miscommunication or things that we haven't talked about, and we kind of, anything can be misinterpreted. And like, we either misinterpret or we misunderstand or we just miss it completely. We like, oh, mom, I didn't know like this kind of thing. So I think when you're saying communication is one point as well. Maybe I could be communicating a bit more. Maybe they misunderstood what I said. Maybe that could be a red flag. That's a good example. Yeah, just an example of a red flag, like when it comes to that's like being fruitful. And like, I think because like communication, there's like breaking out of that comfortability, breaking out of that like that circle of being like content. I think in a way that breaks that. And I think that would be another red flag actually, is like contention. Is that the word? Or being contentious. Something like that. And just that really kind of sets these red flags where like, oh, if they're content with that, then I'm going to be content with this and that and all that kind of stuff. I think one thing in everyone in this sense, like if you think, obviously moms, their intent to do things for the family is always is good. I mean, they love their kids, but like when something is misinterpreted, but you don't understand, I was doing something good, but it didn't translate. It's like, oh, well, we don't understand that they could have offended someone, but their intention was good. I mean, that can sort of kind of hold you to thinking or not looking that, oh, I could have improved in something when you still, you think, oh, my intention was good, so I didn't do anything. And because of all of that kind of stops the fruit growing. Totally, stops the exactly. Because there's so much, like, I guess, barriers put in place. That's like, I'm going to stop that fruit from growing because this or this happened, or like I wasn't heard, or I wasn't understood, or there's so many, like just talking about all of that, like there's a lot of room for like misunderstanding, as you were saying. There's a lot of room for the fruit to stop growing because like we're not letting it. Sure. If that kind of makes sense. Yeah. One of the biggest points that I love with Pastor Fitcher, what she said is, mom is fruitful because she is connected to a good source. So obviously being connected to the Holy Spirit, the source, without Jesus, you can do nothing. Like that's basically what it, gives you the good fruit. In John 15:5, I am the vine, you are the branches. He who abides in me and I in him bears much fruit, for without me you can do nothing. So that's John 15:5. And I'm like, write that down. Pastor Adam and Pastor Fitchard have put it so many times like this. They say, like, you need to be poured into in order to pour out. Like, you can't just continuously pour out. So I guess relating it back to like fruitfulness is that you can't bear fruit if you don't, like, if your roots aren't planted, if you're not growing intending to grow, or you're not in a good sort of environment. Like, I'm talking about fruitfulness, like you're not in a good environment to grow. If that kind of makes sense. And like, you need to be poured into, you need to have fruit growing in you in order to grow fruit. That's so good. That kind of makes sense. I love that. With the environment. So if you're not in a good environment to grow, the people you surround yourself with can definitely influence 100% as well. Another red flag, so that's something to be watchful about as well. The second point
home is where the heart is. What does the heart of, say, like your house, what does that look like? I mean, that's just a question that we could ask ourselves, you know, like, what is the heart of our house? What does it look like? It's another deep question.
Good question.
So yeah, like, you know, there's always so many things that we can improve on in our household. Like, I think one thing that I've experienced a lot growing up in the church is we can get so caught up with doing things for, you know, spending a lot of hours doing things for the church or doing things for work, to the point where, you know, we're not spending enough time at home. We're not doing certain things that, you know, like communication, for example, certain things that, like, obviously from the home, that's where the heart is. You can sort of kind of lack in things at home as opposed to focusing on other things.
Yeah, so, and I mean, like, the environment of your home is very important in terms of, like, you could go anywhere you want, like, say, work, for example, and, like, you could be happy, you know, serving, like, say, retail, serving customers, you know, put on a happy face and all that kind of stuff. But as soon as you get home, you know, there's arguing, there's bitterness, you know, you're fighting with your mom, your siblings or something like that. Yeah. And, like, as much as you go to work and you put that smile on, like, it'll soon start to show, and, like, it'll start to change you. Like, because that's, like, home is where the heart is. And, like, speaking of, like, this series of Dear Heart and, like, the teachings on, like, relationships, like, not just with God, with your family, but with yourself as well. And, like,
that's good.
Like, when you say home is where the heart is, like, if your home is broken, then your heart is broken. Yeah. And, like, there's obviously, like, a lot of different, like, backgrounds or, like, family situations and stuff like that. And it's different for everyone. But, like, for God, like, God sees each family, God knows each family, God knows what your family's like, God knows what my family's like. Yeah. And God knows, like, what it takes to, you know, almost fix the home, I guess, in a way, or, like, get amongst the home, get amongst the heart of home as well. Yeah. And, like, I think going back to what you said before, like, without God, when, like, we can't do anything. Without Jesus, we can't do anything. Without the Holy Spirit, like, that should especially count at home. Yeah. Because, like, home is where you make your memories. Home is where you spend time with people who you've grown up with, like, for so long. And like, no matter what you do outside of the home, like, it's a place where you can, like, home is a place where you can be yourself. Like, you don't have to, like, put on an act or anything like that when you get home. Yeah. Like, if you're struggling with something, like, home would be, like, I imagine would be the place where you go to, like, oh, this happened today. Yeah. Like, I need you, Mom. Like, this happened today. It was hard today. I just need to talk with you, or I just need a hug or something.
It's like that safe place you can come in and just, now I can relax. Yeah. You know, and it can be pretty hard if you come home and it's not a place to relax.
Yeah.
As well.
That's where I was going with that.
That's great. That's why I love that. And what you said as well, which is fantastic, is if your home is broken, your heart is broken. Yeah. That's what. That was really good. I love
that's a gem for you.
So that's where, you know, home is where the heart is. It is true. Like, that home is where the heart is, and obviously nurturing the home really is. It really starts from there. Yeah. You know, and it ultimately blesses the other offshoots that you put your time into. You know,
other fruit you start growing. Yeah. Like fruitfulness. Yeah. The other fruit that comes out of the home. Yeah.
That's it. It all starts with the home. Yeah. So, some things to even think about. Man, this guy, Pastor Mike, preaching. Yeah, that's so good. Just a couple scriptures that Pastor Fitchett spoke about that was so good. So, you know, she watches over the ways of her household and does not eat the bread of idleness. So idleness, I think this is something that we all struggle with. Ooh. I mean, I certainly probably, spend too much on YouTube Reels sometimes. There'll be a great scripture. I'll be like, oh man, that was so good. And keep going. Like I love Jordan Peterson. He's just a really good psychologist. Bunch like stuff that he talks about, very interesting. Idleness, man. Yeah, that's something that we can always kind of get stuck in, eh?
Yeah, because when she was talking about mothers, like mothers are a good example of people who are never idle.
Yeah.
They're always like,
yep.
If I think about like a mother's schedule, like my mom, when we were growing up, it was always, because when we were younger, when you're younger, you wake up at like ridiculous hours of the morning, like when you're like in the first couple of years. And Mum had, I think, the three of us at one point. So she was waking up at ridiculous hours, going to sleep at ridiculous hours, but she would still get up. And as soon as she wake up, she'd either start making bottles or changing us. And as soon as that was finished, like she would start cleaning the house.
Wow.
And as soon as the house was clean, she would either go do shopping, or we'd go visit someone, or you get what I mean.
Yeah.
Like there's no room for like idleness.
Yeah.
There's no room for
that's
just
it.
like peace in a way.
Yeah.
Or like rest. That's a better rest for, because they're just constantly moving, constantly thinking like, this is next, I gotta go change him, I gotta go feed him, I've gotta go clean the house, I've gotta go drive here, get this, get that, and then I've gotta go make them lunch, make them dinner, get them ready for the next meal, shower them, sleep them, all that kind of stuff, and like my brain's just turning trying to think of everything else.
That's
but
it.
like
No, that's good.
all of that together, like if they were to like almost take that like idleness and just stand by and like let the kids do the kids, I think it would be chaos.
Yeah, that's true.
Like I think we'd be running around breaking stuff.
Yeah.
And not being fed, so we'd be like
needing angry. A bit of a discipline here and there.
Yeah, we'll talk about that, but like mothers, there would be a strong example of that kind of like not being idle in a way, or that idleness more. So
So the time that's spent in the household, that first part of the scripture, she watches over the ways of her household. So she's watching the ways of the household. Like, what is my son up to? He seems a bit upset. You know,
little stuff like that. Even pick up on.
I wonder what he was a bit upset at me. Maybe I should look into that. That's the love of a mother. They look at those things too. Like it's.
The little things like the tone of our voice, or the way we're walking, or how we're looking at her, and that kind of stuff. Or if we're doing a certain thing, if we're not doing a certain thing, like all of that. Even when she's, like when I think of a mother, even when she's resting, she's still thinking. Yeah. Like still thinking like, oh, I have so-and-so time until I have to do this. Yeah. Or I have so-and-so amount of time before I have to fold the clothes, or before I have to change them again, or if I have to feed them again. Yeah. So like even when they're resting in sense of physical, or like when they're physically sitting down or laying down or whatever it is, the mind's still going.
That's
and like
true.
Like as you were saying, like examples like, oh, he seemed a bit upset today, maybe I should go and check on him. Yeah. Or like he seems hungry, like maybe we should go out and get something to eat. Yeah. So like even like mothers are just,
oh man,
you can't
compare.
Yeah, and you can't like jam everything that they do into like one webisode.
Yeah.
I'm trying to do it, but it's not working.
Not That's so good. Okay, and so now the third point, her children rise and bless her. So in Proverbs 31:28, her children rise up and call her blessed, her husband also, and he praises her. Husbands, praise your wife in front of your children. So this is where it kind of comes back to us. Yeah. So me, you, husbands all around are amazing mothers, wives. Calling them blessed and praising them is something that we need to also understand too, like helping them and giving them encouragement as well for all the hard work that they do.
Absolutely.
So for all the mothers out there, we really appreciate the amazing stuff that you do. All the little things that we don't understand, because you know how moms have that sixth sense, they just know. Yeah. And they're like, how do they know? Yeah. Like, how did she know?
Yeah, we didn't really have that. I kind of just breeze past stuff. Yeah. men.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we gotta just breezy, like, she'll be right.
Yeah.
It'll be right, yeah.
Why was mom asking me this question? I don't understand. Like, sitting there, you're like trying to put the pieces together, but you'll never understand.
Yeah.
But it's all under this understanding that's so advanced, but ultimately to help you.
Yeah. It's like that motherly instinct.
That only she understands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I think all the moms are like, yep.
The moms are, yeah.
Oh, man. To all the mothers, we love you.
Yeah, love you.
Everyone, you guys have a great week. We hope you guys enjoyed this webisode. Yeah, I'm going to give my mom some love. Just is really encouraged. I'm just like thinking about all these things. Like, there's so many things that I probably, need to, thank my mom for. So, anyways.
So, go hug your mom. Go tell her you appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thanks for breakfast, lunch, whatever they did in the day. Thank them for it. Appreciate them. Mothers are diverse, dynamic. They're amazing.
Yeah.
So go and hug them. Go and kiss them. Go and tell them. Go get them flowers. Go do something for them because they are one of a kind.
Yeah.
Thanks, mothers.
We'll love you and leave you. Have a good week, guys. See you next time.
Thanks, everyone.